from the Top, brought to you by the Rush Sports Medicine Team. I'm your host, Christopher Haralson, and every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. here on Super Talk Meridian 103.3 FM, we take a look around the world at Meridian Community College athletics. This past week, the men's basketball team picked up two huge conference wins in as many games as they defeated Hines Mississippi Community College 76-59 last Thursday, and then went on the road Monday night to Fulton, Mississippi, and defeated a good Itawamba team 65-56. That improves the Eagles to 13-4 overall, 5-3 in MAC play, and they sit fourth in the conference standings right now. Lady Eagles also picked up two big wins in the conference last week as they went to Utica and defeated a good Hines Bulldogs team 82-63, and then Monday night defeated Itawamba Community College, who was at the time undefeated in conference play, 72-63 in the Graham Gymnasium. The ladies are 7-8 overall and 4-4 in MAC play, and they currently sit in 8th place in the conference. Both basketball teams will have their bye week this Thursday, tomorrow night, and they'll be back in action Monday night, January 31st, against Mississippi Gulf Coast. The men will be at home in the Graham Gymnasium at 6 o'clock. You can catch that game on mcceagles.live, while the ladies head down to Perkinson, Mississippi to take on the Lady Bulldogs of Mississippi Gulf Coast. MCC track team currently ranked 15th in the NJCAA poll. Competed in the Sanford Invitational last weekend, had several NJCAA qualifiers, and then this weekend they'll head to the University of South Carolina for their invitational. MCC softball will head down to Pensacola State College to open up their season February 4th and 5th. They'll play several teams, including Bryant and Stratton College, Coastal Alabama South, as well as the host school, Pensacola State College. And while the ladies are at Pensacola baseball will be up here as the MCC baseball opens up their season at home. MCC baseball currently ranked 8th in the NJCAA preseason poll, and so they're looking for a great season. That game will start at 1 o'clock here at Skaggs Field. You can catch that game at mcceagles.live. The number 7th ranked MCC golf team will open up the spring portion of their season in Mobile at the Bishop State Invitational. That'll be Monday, February 7th. And then the MCC tennis team starts this weekend. They open up the spring portion of their schedule this weekend with 2 road trips. They'll head over to Goodman, Mississippi to take on the Holmes Community College Bulldogs Friday. And then Saturday, they'll head down to Mobile where they'll play Coastal Alabama East as well as Mobile University. Today I'll be joined by head coach T.J. Carter, and he'll kind of give us a rundown of what he looks for this season out of his both teams, as well as a rundown on the schedule. MCC Soccer will be hosting a youth soccer camp for this spring, February 8th through 10th at C.D. Smith Field. That's from ages 8 to 14, and that'll be from 5:30 to 7:30. The cost is $75 per camper. For more information on that or to register for that, contact women's head coach Mike Smith at msmith3@meridiancc.edu. After a short break, I'll be joined by our MCC head tennis coach T.J. Carter as we talk about the spring season and his players, and we kind of get an idea of what to expect from Coach Carter's teams. We'll take a quick break. You're listening to A View from the Top, brought to you by the Rush Sports Medicine Team here on Super Talk Meridian 103.3 FM. Welcome back to A View from the Top, brought to you by the Rush Sports Medicine Team. I'm your host, Christopher Haralson. Today I'm joined by head tennis coach T.J. Carter. Coach Carter, thank you for coming back on the show. How have you been?
Good. I'm glad to be back. Was excited when you approached me with the opportunity to talk to you again.
So since we spoke last time, you had your first ever pickleball tournament. Tell me how that went.
Yeah, it went really good. We had 8 courts set up out on the courts out here on campus and had a really good turnout. I think on the men's side, so we did a men's open, women's open, and then wound up just having one beginners division. But on the men, I think we had 8 teams. On the women, I think we had 6 teams and then 3 in the beginners.
Awesome.
And so really good turnout, really fun. Wound up playing, 3-4 hours, did a double elimination. And so a lot of good comments about it. A lot of people from Hattiesburg came up and played. A lot of local players from Northwood Country Club and Northeast played. And then even had some Jackson, Ridgeland tennis center people come up, and all the comments were great about the opportunity and being able to play. And, Hattiesburg, for sure, she told me, next one you have, we'll make sure we bring more people.
Great. So if we already got plans for another tournament?
Yeah, so plans for another tournament. Would like to have 3 a year. So I'm thinking this next one, maybe June, middle of June, end of June.
Okay.
All depends on Mississippi State and how far of a run we make in the College World Series.
I hear you.
I can't make that mistake again of missing that run. So, and then one again in the fall, but we'll make it a little earlier this time.
So get ready to start this weekend. Head down to Holmes Community College to open up on Friday, and then down to play Coastal Alabama and University of Mobile this Saturday. Kind of go through the schedule and highlight some matches that you're looking forward to this year.
Yeah, so we got a really good schedule. So our rules, you have 35 days in the fall and the spring, and I like to use as close to those 35 as I can. So I think as we sit now, we have 34 days from what we played in the fall and what we have in the spring. And so, yeah, starting this Friday with Holmes, that's a conference match. So our rules also, you play everyone in the conference twice, once at home, once away. So going to Goodman, it's always a fun. Coach Levert's a really nice guy and probably maybe the best host in the conference. Always has stuff for your team, and so excited to go play them. And then I think it just already right off the bat highlights our good out-of-conference schedule and how much we get to travel and play compared to other teams in this conference. But go to Bay Minette on Saturday morning and play Coastal Alabama, who we played in the fall. And they were missing a few players. We were missing a few players. And so it was a tight match, and we won both.
Okay.
So expecting us to do good again this Saturday morning. But they brought in, I know, an international gal on the men's side. We'll have Carly Teague back, who was out with COVID in the fall. But for us, we've added a guy. We'll have Allie Bowen back, who was out in the fall. So excited. And then a real good test for us, we're playing University of Mobile in Mobile on the way back up. They are, right by 45. So it's an easy stop to hop in. And that's a good one for everybody, but especially the internationals at the top. The top Americans should be a good match all the way through. And then Tuesday, we're back here for our first home match, and it is a huge one against Jones College. We're obviously nowhere near the level of SEC football, but it feels similar in my mind that there's not an easy match on this schedule.
Right.
If you got to come to play, every day. If not, you can get beat. And so we have Jones College on Tuesday, who is going to be in the top 3 of our conference on both sides. On the women, I think it immediately has implication on seeding at regional tournament, and then same on the men. I think it's a tone setter for both our squads.
You got a little more invested in that Jones College game.
That as well, yes. Their coach was my private coach. I worked there for 8 months before getting the head job here. So it would be nice to take one from them on the women. I think they have like a 51 or 50 match win streak, and so
really,
if we could be the ones to snap it, obviously would be good. And then Friday, it doesn't get any easier. We travel to Perk to play Mississippi Gulf Coast, and it's always a hostile is probably too strong, but a hostile environment. They have good support, fans that are going to cheer, people that will show up. Their boys are coming back in as the reigning regional champions, and so obviously they're expecting to have another good year. Their girls team is going to be very strong. Their number 1 player made it to the finals of ITA against Juju and had a very close second set. So I know she's going to be hungry to get another shot at our top player. And we had a girl that transferred in from there. So a lot for their girls to prove against us, and so we're going to have to be ready to play. And then we come back and we host a team here. I think that speaks again to our location, and we have a lot of teams that like to come play here. And so Jones and Hines will come up and play Oxford College of Emory out of Atlanta on Saturday, and we'll play them on Sunday. We've been doing that since I played here. We played Oxford Emory So a long relationship with Coach Pernilla Harden.
We played them in the fall as well, right?
Played them in the fall. So they bring their division, NJCAA Division III.
Okay.
So a different division than us. And so they play their women's season in the fall, men in the spring.
Okay.
So our men will play them that Saturday. And they're, I can't remember, I think it's like 7-time reigning D3 national champions.
Oh, wow.
The women, I think, just won their 8th one in a row in the fall. It's always good for us, really, really good competition.
Sure.
And really fun. And then obviously Colin, we go to Raymond. We're playing Hines and Belhaven. Belhaven has a former player here as their head coach and a former player that was here last year in Canaan Black. And then Itawamba comes Southwest. Go to Northeast, and then I'm going to play Blue Mountain. Bo Bowman and his squad, he's taking over their NAIA they were top 15 on the men last year, I think top 20 on the women. Brought in a really good girl that was number 3 in the country last year from a junior college.
Okay.
So excited about that. And then our first big trip. So we take normally 3 big trips in the spring, but one of them we can talk about got canceled. Normally we play in Pensacola, but the tennis center that we play at, it wound up needing to get resurfaced.
Right.
And so working it out with West Florida, Pensacola, just couldn't make it happen this year. So normally we take a trip to Pensacola, but it's been scratched. But our first one is to Texas, and so we'll make a couple of stops. So we'll leave on Thursday after class and spend the night, and Friday morning we're going to wake up, and this year we're playing East Texas Baptist University. Division III school, really good exposure for our Mississippi kids, obviously a place they could go play after here. And so
I was going to ask you about that. So we're playing University of Mobile, Blue Mountain, Belhaven, and now East Texas Baptist. Does that play into recruiting for our kids that are here and getting it? Obviously, it gives a good opportunity for these next level schools to see us firsthand without them having to travel. Has that proven in the past to be some good recruiting for us to get our players onto the next level?
Yeah, it does. It's like you said, it gives them an opportunity to see that player live. It gives that player an opportunity to see their facility, meet their coach, see what their team atmosphere is like. And even if you don't wind up at that school, coach is talking. So somebody tells their coach, man, I'm still looking for one more girl. Well, hey, Meridian had this number 4 girl who was really solid, and I think would be a good fit. And so it has been a good tool for us to get exposure for those kids and move them on. And so it should be a good match there, and then we'll drive that afternoon to Plano, which is right outside Dallas, and Collin College is going to host us, and so we're supposed to play Jacksonville College. Got a new coach going into this semester. We're top 10 in the country last year, so on the men should be a very, very good competitive match. And then Weatherford College, who's brand new program this year, but got a coach from Division I. Got what I've heard rumored 3 Division I transfers in, so should be probably a top 10 team on the women. And so it's going to push our top girls in our women's team to really see what we're made of. And then we'll spend the night Saturday, wake up and play Collin College, who's a very strong team, finished top 10 on both sides, and then another 4-year school, NAIA, University of Texas Texarkana, will come down and play us. And then we get back to regional play, Holmes, Jones, Gulf Coast, hosts CAC, Central Alabama, Marion Military, Colin. ABAC is men only. It's on Sunday, March 20th. That's another good example of ABAC was coming through playing somebody. I have a good relationship with Dale White, their coach, and asked if we wanted to play him, and I said absolutely. And they'll have a good, strong men's squad. Southwest, Northeast. Then we go to Decatur to play East Central, and then what's normally our last big trip, and is our last big trip, we're for the first time, but we're going to go every year to Sumter, South Carolina. Good relationship with their coach, and they play at a 24-court facility out there, and so very excited about going out there to play. But we'll play Sumter, we'll play Hartford, both finished top 10 in the country last year, men and women. Wallace State, who we'll talk about again, we'll play out there, and then Mercer County will be just our women. And so we'll leave again on a Thursday, play Friday, Saturday, and come back on Sunday. And then go back to the very end of conference play, Itawamba, East Central here, Wallace State, they're a good Alabama school, so we play Coastal, MMI, and now Wallace State. Wallace State has won it on the men and women, I think, the last 2 years in a row, maybe longer on the men. So Tim Garner's done a good job.
Sure.
This year on the men, I would not be shocked if they're a top 5 team in the country. So really good for us. And on the women, we were down a few girls and lost to them in the fall, so I know our girls will be excited to get another shot at them to try to beat them on the women's side. And then our last match here, our sophomore day, will be Hines Community College. Coach Millette always does a good job. Obviously, I have ties to that program, so another one that I don't ever mind winning. And then we'll finish on the road with Central Alabama, Meridian Military. I will go back, Chris, and we can highlight on March 9th. That's when we play Wallace State. It'll be a similar situation where Jones is going to come up and play Wallace State, and we'll play him in the afternoon. That morning is when we're going to have our second alumni mixer.
April 9th.
April 9th.
April
What did I say? I said March 9th. April 9th at 10 a.m. out here on campus at our courts. Going to have our alumni mixer.
So last year was our first ever alumni mixer, and I kind of felt like we tied it in with, at the time, homecoming. So we had homecoming baseball game, we had a alumni golf tournament as well, and we had the alumni tennis mixer. And I thought it was the showstopper of the weekend. I mean, I felt like we had a great turnout of MCC tennis alumni that came out excited to meet the new coach, obviously in your first year. And so tell me, how did that mixer go? I mean, were you pleased with the turnout and how things went?
Yeah, I was really pleased. Last year I remember telling Coach McPhail my goal was over 16 people. I think we had 20 alumni show up and play. And so that filled up the courts +1. And everybody seemed to have a good time, mixed it up. I think we had the oldest person or oldest graduating person was like 1972. I think we had a player 74. We had a couple of 3 or 4 guys from squads from the 90s, early 2000s, 2010. So it was a good mix of all generations. So not only people that played for Coach McPhail, but people who played for coaches before her and some for coaches after. And we wound up feeding them, offering them to come out to Northeast afterwards and had some mug shots. So this year, same thing. There's a few opportunities to see us. Friday, we host East Central at 1 o'clock. And then, like I said, Wallace State after. I'm planning to feed people again afterwards, come out, support us, see our strong squads. But would love, I think this year I'll tell Coach McPhail my goal would probably be 32. If we could get 32 alumni, that'd be filling up our courts, twice. No cost last year. I think we made them pay this year. We just want you to come. We'll send out a link, I'm sure, pretty sure, for you to sign up.
We'll get that link out on mcceagles.com/camps probably this week, so you can go ahead and get signed up and reserve your spot, because 32 would be great, but we've only got room for so many. So it'll be sign up early so we can get you down and know that you're coming. Well, that's great. Well, it sounds like we've got a full spring ahead of us. It didn't sound like you had any cupcakes mixed in there. I'm not sure you've done a good job. We need some easy ones in there. But a lot of tough top 10 matchups for the men and the women. So last year, the women finished 5th in the state, and then that was good enough to earn them a national tournament bid. And then the men finished 8th in the state, and they also got a national tournament bid, right? Tell me just quickly how last season went and how these players this year are going to build off that.
Yeah, so last season went well. On the women, when I took the job, we only had 3 girls. And so got it in July, and from July to August had to find and field a team. And so we had 7 girls and wound up only having 7 guys. But the girls, we had a girl come in January and battled injury the whole semester, so I don't know that we were ever at our full strength till the very end. And so regional tournament, we wound up finishing 5th, but then like you said, made it, qualified, went out to Phoenix, Arizona, had a great time at the national tournament, and wound up finishing 13th at the NJCAA national tournament. And on the men, it was different things, battled adversity all year, but a great squad, very fun to be around. Wound up finishing 6th at conference tournament, and went out to Plano, and it wound up raining the whole time we were there. So it was a crazy trip, got to play at SMU indoors. And they wound up finishing 21st nationally, we had, the ITA Most Improved Sophomore,
Right.
Matt Tennant, who's at Southern Arkansas now. And so was excited last year, but it's been exciting to see our growth this year, and I think the
Right.
things we can accomplish.
Outstanding. Well, working towards that goal, obviously, we can't do anything without the players. We've got about 5 minutes. So just kind of run down both teams for me, where they're from and kind of what you expect out of them.
Yeah, okay. And no order here. I'm going to try to go freshmen and then sophomores. And we'll start with the men. But excited I told you in the first one it's the Tell It Two City, so not a lot of experience on the men, a lot of experience on the women. So a lot of freshmen. Will McCullough is our first guy I'll talk about. Was a 2-3 sport athlete out of Lloyd Star, a little small
Right.
school. Really steady tennis player. Likes to stay at the baseline rally a lot, but it's been exciting to see him grow in his game. Him and Grant Frank partnered together at the ITA tournament, and we're in the backdraw finals of B doubles. Parker Lyons from Van Cleve, Mississippi, was actually someone told me about him, was a former Jones player, and so watched him play. Really loved his fire, his grit. I think that heart, those are the words I describe him with. He's, never going to give up, always
Right.
going to fight, and was in the finals of C singles at ITA. Parker Cheney, not a local kid, but not from far away, Newton County. Chad
Sure.
Bond does a good job, always turning out great players, great kids off the court. Parker's a little more reserved and quiet, but it's been great to see him grow. Our last match against Coastal Alabama, he lost in singles, but you could see things start clicking in his mind.
Sure.
Was a doubles finalist last year in high school, so him picking up the singles game and seeing it stick is great, but a guy that I could put at 1-2 doubles, and he's going to be able to compete. Anton Saranic is our Croatian, and he's going to be our number 1 or number 2 player. Won a Croatian national doubles finalist,
wow.
was a highly ITF ranked player, had a really strong fall, good run at the ITA, recently won a UTR tournament over in Jackson, and so excited to see him and his, I would say confidence, as he's built confidence, all fall going into the spring, and really excited to see his level. Coming in this January, we had Sebastian Hernandez from Cornelius, North Carolina. He won a high school state championship over there. And so, have quickly had to get him acclimated to the team, but is a great player, likes to hit a big ball, seems to have really good energy, which I love. I love a lot of Let's Go Eagles, Let's Go Boys, things like that. He seems to have brought that and really helping us there this year. And then going into our 3 sophomores, I got Cameron Garrett. He's a local kid from Clarkdale.
Right.
I love his personality, is always joking, always keeping us smiling. Great player that's really developed throughout the last year. Grant Frank is a sophomore from Eupora, Mississippi. I definitely say is one of our leaders, leads our stretches, very vocal. Played doubles with Will McCullough in the ITA, and they made it to the backdraw finals of B-Flight. Colin Hartman, I'll finish with him on the guys, returning sophomore, all-conference player last year, beat 15 different conference opponents.
That's impressive.
And has had just as good of a fall, picked up right where he left off, was in the finals of B-Flight singles at ITA, and probably should have won it, had some things that didn't go his way with the weather, but excited about the men and our growth and seeing how we do. On the girls, like I said, not a lot of freshmen. So Tyler Athis from Union, local girl. She's battled some injury all year, but hopefully we'll have her back and have her playing. Madison Embry from Warren Centrals, Warren Central. Going to be, pivotal in our doubles. Has really developed her singles game a lot, but doubles is very aggressive for a girl, likes to get to the net, likes to volley, put balls away, which I'm excited. Isabella Sander from West Lauderdale, one of our many local kids. Coach Pete, who teaches out at Northeast, told me about her and said, TJ, sometimes you're going to think she's not listening, but she is, and she's picking up on everything you say because she's so quiet.
She is. She's almost kind of eerily quiet. She just kind of stands there and looks at you, and I'm always thinking, does she hate me? Like, what's going on up there? Because she just kind of stands there and you're right, just listens. She doesn't always have a lot to say.
Yeah, but has really grown, and you just see, like you said, but she's picking on what you say and does exactly, what we teach at practice,
Right.
and made it to the finals of Sea Flight singles at ITA. And then Ana Julissa de Mata, Juju is our last girl. Obviously very, very talented, ranked 21st in the country coming into the spring, which I think is a joke. If I'm being honest, was a top 8 player for sure, probably top 6 player in the country
Right.
in the fall. Won our ITA, went to ITA Cup, went 2-1, 1-2, I can't remember. Had a very good ITA Cup, won it in doubles, had a very good ITA Cup with their partner, and so excited about her and seeing her compete. So going into our sophomores, I'll start. We had 3 transfer
Right.
girls. So the first I'll talk about Allie Bowen, transferred from Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. Was 10-0 in singles last year, 9-1 in doubles, and so a very good high school player. Won a high school state championship, 2-star on tennis recruiting, and so has battled injury all fall. Didn't play in any fall matches for us. Got to practice maybe the last 2-3 weeks. And so this first 3 weeks we've had her back, fully going, and so excited to see what she can do. Her and Juju playing doubles together, her and the singles. Excited to see her pick up where she left off and really have some success. Cameron Rodriguez is a third-year player from Jones. Her sister is our assistant coach, but I coached Cameron when I was at Jones, and so when she wanted to do a little more school and play, we jumped on the opportunity to let her. And so I'm excited about the experience she brings. She brings a lot of energy, is very vocal, and is an exciting player to watch. And then our last transfer is Sarah Klein, transferred in from East Central Community College, wants to do dental hygiene. And so Meridian obviously has a very good dental hygiene program, and so that was going to open the opportunity for her to possibly do that. But can do everything. I remember telling the coach at Jones last year, we played East Central in the fall. I told him, I love all the girls I brought in. I said, but man, if I could have recruited Sarah Klein, I would have, because she can good serve, top spin, can slice it, gets to the net, good hands. So excited to have her. And then our girls coming back, Harper Bryan, local girl, all-conference player last year, is steady, and her energy and the way she plays, never misses. And so excited that she's back. She really grew as a doubles player, and excited to see her play some doubles this year. And Colby Holyfield from Laurel, big serve, hits a big ball, likes to come in, which is exciting. She leads her FCA worship. I always like to talk about that. She's a leader, not always the loudest, but leads by example for sure. And then we'll end with Isabella Warham from Australia, coming back this year. Very versatile. Anything I ask her to do, and wherever I put her, she's going to give me her best. She's going to fight, and she's going to win. And so played doubles with Juju at ITA and won that with her, and then had a very good ITA Cup. And so excited. I think both teams are going to grow on what we had last year, and hopefully have a chance to win a couple of championships.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, thank you. It sounds like we've got a lot to look forward to. Good luck this weekend as y'all get started with things and throughout the season. Thank you again for being here. To keep up with all things MCC Athletics, go ahead and like us on Facebook at MCC Eagles Athletics. Follow us on Twitter at MCC Eagles Sports. And for every episode of A View from the Top, Eagle highlights, and much more, subscribe to us on YouTube. Just search Meridian Community College. I want to thank you for listening to this week's episode of A View from the Top, brought to you by the Rush Sports Medicine Team. Join me every Wednesday at 9 a.m. here on Super Talk Meridian, 103.3 FM.